Hey there, guys. Here we go again. The naps at the Athletics once again. We'll take a quick glance here at the standings. Philadelphia is 20 and 14. They are kind of inching up on Cleveland. Cleveland at 19 and 12, and they're only in first place because they have lost fewer games than any other team. And if we were talking about European football, we'd talk about games in hand. And the Naps do have quite a few games in hand. They're kind of in a unenviable position with that, but it's always better to have a win than a game in hand over another team. Here's Josh Clark for Cleveland. He rolls a 14 for a 43. Here's the little E roll, and it's an 11. So that's going to be an error on the first baseman, Davis, and Clark reaches first. Eddie Plank on the mound there for Philadelphia. 5-3 is record so far with a 1.68 ERA, and the Athletics trying to bring back the magic of 1905. Here's George Stovall now for Cleveland. And George rolls a 53 for a 19, changed to an 18. That's going to be another error on Nichols, the shortstop, and that puts runners in the corners. And here comes the big man. So Napoleon comes up there. He is hitting 271, 319 on base percentage, 338 the slugging. No home runs, of course, but it's 1908, so we don't expect that. Only 12 driven in. And he rolls a 66 for a 0. And the next roll is a 26 for a 2. That's a double that will clear the bases, and it's 2-0 Cleveland, just like that. Up now is Bill Bradley. So Connie Mack, hair growing gray pretty quickly in the dugout. Bradley rolls a 41 for a 28. Ground ball to Nichols, who makes the play this time on the first for the out, and Napoleon goes to third. One out. Here's Bill Hinchman. Hinchman rolls a 54 for a 45. This will probably be deep enough to score the run. Little rolls a 41 out of the range. It's a fly ball to right. Murphy has that, but Napoleon a little bit too slow, can't quite get home. And so with 2 away, here's Joe Birmingham. Joe's roll is a 24 for a 13. Down he goes on strikes. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Addy Joss on the mound for Cleveland, 8-3, 1.63 ERA. You know that he was dominant in real life. He's every bit as dominant so far this replay. 46 strikeouts for Joss. Eddie Collins up there first, rolls a 14 for a 43. Little rolls a 32 out of the range. Fly ball to left, and Clark has that for the out, 1 away. Here's Harry Davis now for Philadelphia. He rolls a 65 for a 35. It's a pop-up to the left side. Bradley has that in foul territory. There's 2 away, and here's Topsy Hartzell. Hartzell, 235, hitting well. Rolls a 34 for a 44. It's a fly ball to Birmingham in center. We go to the top of the second. Still 2-0 Cleveland. Here's George Paring. George rolls a 23 for a 30. Fly ball to left. Hartzell's got that, 1 away. Here's Harry Bemis. He rolls a 26 for a 27. It's a ground ball to Collins. The third baseman throws to first. 2 away, and here's Addy Joss. Addy rolls a 24 for a 13 and strikes out, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. So Cleveland with 2 runs on 1 hit. Philadelphia, no runs, no hits. And here comes Danny Murphy. Rolls a 64 for a 13. There's a strikeout, 1 away, and here comes Simon Nichols. Nichols rolls a 54 for a 45. Lilly rolls a 33 out of the range. It's a fly ball to right. Hinchman has that, and there's 2 away. Up is Jimmy Collins. And Jimmy rolls a 66 for a 0, followed by a 45 for a 6. That'll be a double for Collins, and he winds up perched on second base. First hit of the game for the Athletics. That'll bring up Jack Coombs. Coombs hitting. He is playing in center field. He's out there mostly for that bat because the Athletics can use all the help they can get. He's hitting 269, only 29 plate appearances, and he rolls a 25 for an 8. That's a ground ball to Bradley on the left side, who throws to first for the out, and we go to the top of the third. Still 2-0 Cleveland. Here's Josh Clark. Josh rolls a 16 for a 26, ground ball to second, Collins to first, 1 away, and that brings up George Stovall. Stovall hitting 260. He's 0 for 1 with an error. Reached base on an error, I should say, and he rolls a 36 for a 33. And the little E rolls a 12, and so that'll be an error this time on the second baseman, Eddie Collins, and that's the third error committed by the Athletics. That'll bring up Napoleon again. So Stovall's on base again. He's pretty fast, but doesn't have that 11, so we won't hit and run. It rolls a 52 for a 27. Ground ball to Collins, Jimmy Collins, who flips over to Eddie for the play at second. No play at first, however. Napoleon fast enough to beat that out. 2 away. Here's Bill Bradley. And the roll is a 22 for an 8. It's a ground ball over to Jimmy Collins, who throws to first. And we go to the bottom of the third inning, still 2-0 Cleveland. Both teams only with 1 hit. Here's Mike Powers. He rolls a 56 for a 34. It's a pop out over to the shortstop, pairing for the out, one away. Here comes Eddie Plank. Eddie rolls a 51 for a 23, change to a 36. That'll be a ball. Next rolls a 51 again for a 23, change to 38. 2 balls now on Plank. And he rolls a 23 for a 32. Fly ball to right. Hinchman has that for the out. 1 away. 2 away, I'm sorry. Here's Eddie Collins. Collins rolls a 61 for a 36. Change to 39. It's a strike. Next rolls a 24 for a 13, and down he goes on strikes. We go to the top of the 4th. It'll be Bill Hinchman up here for the Naps against Eddie Plank. And his roll is a 25 for a 9. That's a single over short. Only the 3rd hit of this ball game. 2nd for the Naps, and here comes Birmingham. Hinchman does not have an 11 again, so we won't hit and run. And the roll is a 52 for a 27. Another ground ball to Collins, who goes to the other Collins for the force out at 2nd. They only get 1 out of it, though, and with 1 away, here's George Pairing. Pairing hitting 200, 0 for 1 today. He rolls a 25 for a 9, and there's another infield hit, another single. 3rd hit now for Cleveland, and that'll bring up Harry Bemis. And now you really have your options here, right? Do you bunt? Do you swing away? I think we do bunt here. And the roll's a 15 for an 11, and that's a single. That'll beat out the bunt, and Bemis does a great job hustling to first. And that brings up Addy Joss, and here comes that big question. Look at all those 13s on his cards, right? Normally you think, well, yeah, you bunt here with the pitcher, but with all those 13s, that takes away the bunt because that'll get Birmingham thrown out of home. We've seen that so many times. 2-0 ball game. And Joss rolls a 41 for a 27. That's going to be a ground ball over to 3rd. Collins has it and throws to home for the force. 2 away. Here comes Josh Clark. So it's a big strategic question to ask, and I think we did the right thing. Clark rolls a 34 for a 44, and there is a little E-roll. It's a 12, and so that's going to be yet another error. 2nd error on Nichols, and that will allow 2 to score. It's 4-0 Athletics. I think all of these runs have been unearned. Yeah, Plank's ERA now is 159. Here comes George Stovall, down 4-0 is Philadelphia. Stovall rolls a 42 for a 9, and there's another single and a run scores. So it's 5-0 now, Cleveland. And here comes Napoleon. The Naps are really running away with it. Joey rolls a 26 for a 27. It's a ground ball over to Jimmy Collins, who flips to Eddie once again for the force, and we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. But this game has certainly changed. 5-0 now, Cleveland. First batter, Harry Davis, rolls a 56 for a 34. It's a pop-up over to the shortstop Pairing for the out, 1 away. Topsy Hartzell now. He rolls a 51 for a 9. That's another strikeout for Addy Joss, who struck out 3. 2 away, and here's Danny Murphy. Murphy rolls a 41 for a 28. Ground ball to short. Pairing throws to first, and we go to the top of the 5th. Bill Bradley leads this off for Cleveland. He rolls a 52 for a 27. That'll be a ground ball to Jimmy Collins, who throws to first, and there's 1 away. Bill Hinchman up next. He rolls a 21 for a 30. Fly ball left field. Hartzell's got that for the out. There's 2 away, and here comes Joe Birmingham. Joe rolls a 45 for a 14, and that'll be a walk. Pairing comes up next. First walk given up by Plank. I think first walk by either pitcher. And Pairing rolls a 22 for a 7, and that's a single to right center field. The 6th hit here for the Naps, and the hometown fans are getting a little bit restless with Eddie Plank. Harry Bemis up there now, and he rolls a 33 for a 7. That'll be a fly ball to center field, and Coombs has that for the out, and we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 5-0 Cleveland. Simon Nichols leads this off. 2 errors today, and they've been costly. He rolls a 31 for a 14. That'll be 2 balls on him. Next rolls a 54 for a 45. It's a fly ball to right field. Hinchman has that, and there's 1 away. Jimmy Collins up next. He rolls a 35 for a 13 and strikes out. 4 strikeouts now for Joss. 50 this season. 2 away, and here's Coombs. And Jack rolls a 53 for a 16, changed to an 18, and that'll be an error. First error of the ball game against Cleveland, and that's charged to Pairing. That'll bring up Mike Powers, and so there is a little sliver of a chance for the Athletics. And Powers rolls a 56 for a 34. It's a high pop-up to short, and Pairing has that for the out. We go to the top of the 6th inning. It'll be Addy Joss here for Cleveland. Joss today 0 for 2. Rolls a 43 for a 29. Comebacker to Eddie Plank, who throws to first. 1 away. Here's Josh Clark. He rolls a 55 for an 8. Grounder to short. Nichols on to first. 2 away. And here comes George Stovall. Stovall rolls a 52 for a 27. This one's a grounder over to Jimmy Collins, a 3rd, who throws to first. And we go to the bottom of the 6th now. Still 5-0 Naps, and Joss has been rolling. Here's Eddie Plank. Lead this off. He rolls a 45 for a 14, which is 2 balls. And then he rolls an 11 for a 0. How about that? And now a 15 for a 6. So Plank gets only the second hit of the game for the Athletics off of Joss, and that'll bring up Eddie Collins. Plank on at second base with that surprise double. And Collins rolls a 22 for a 7, and there's a single to right, and he picks him up. So Eddie Collins gets another RBI. That'll bring up Harry Davis, and it's a 5-1 ball game, and the Athletics are starting to fight back. Here comes Davis now. He's 256 this season, 0 for 2 today. And he rolls a 32 for a 26. It's a ground ball to short. Napoleon goes over to pairing, but they don't have enough momentum to get Davis out at first. And so there's one away, and here comes Topsy Hartzell. Topsy's hitting 231 with 10 men driven in, 0 for 2 today. And he rolls a 52 for a 27. This time it's a ground ball to Bradley, who goes to Napoleon for the force the second. 2 away, and here comes Murphy. Murphy's 0 for 2, just like so many other Athletics. He rolls a 13 for a 14. That'll be a walk. Interesting, because of the ZZ. So it's either Z or ZZZ that makes that a ball. Joss gives up an uncharacteristic walk, only his 8th of the season, and that'll bring up Simon Nichols. I forgot about that. I thought there was a bug. Nichols, and he rolls a 42 for a 13, and down he goes, and we go to the top of the 7th. So Joss comes back and makes it happen in the end. And here's Napoleon. He's 1 for 3 with that double driven 2. Rolls a 46 for a 13 and strikes out. Strikeout number 3 collected by Eddie Plank. 1 away, and here's Bradley. Bradley rolls a 26 for a 30. Fly ball to left field. Hartzell's got that. There's 2 away, and here comes Bill Hinchman. He rolls a 34 for a 44. There is a little E roll. It's a 33 out of the range. Fly ball to center, and Coombs has that for the out. And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 5-1 still Cleveland, and here comes Jimmy Collins. Rolls a 25 for a 9. That'll be a single over short. That'll bring up Jack Coombs. So maybe something happens. Jimmy Collins, of course, older player, not fast enough to do much running. Coombs rolls a 42 for a 13 and strikes out. That's 6 now that Joss has collected, and that'll bring up Mike Powers. Powers rolls a 12 for a 25. There is a little E roll. Hold your horses. That's a 41. That means this is going to be a ground ball to second. LaJoey on to pairing for 1, but they can't double up Powers despite his lack of speed, and there's 2 away. Here's Eddie Plank. And Eddie rolls a 14 for a 43. There is a little E roll. It's a 24, just missing the range, so it's a difficult play, but Birmingham does make it in center for the out. And we go to the top of the 8th inning. 5-1 still Cleveland. Here comes Joe Birmingham. Rolls a 65 for a 35. It's a pop-up to the left side. Collins, Jimmy, that is, grabs it in foul territory, 1 away. George Pairing now rolls a 63 for a 30. Fly ball to left, and Topsy Hartzell has that 2 away. And here comes Harry Bemis. Rolls a 35 for a 22, changed to an 18, and that's going to be an error, another error, 3rd error of the game on Nichols, 5th of the game on the Athletics. That'll bring up Addy Joss. The pitcher rolls a 62 for a 12. Ground ball to second base, and Collins, Eddie, that is, flips over to Nichols for the force out, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Here is Eddie Collins now to lead this off after that good play to close out that inning. 5-1 Cleveland. And Collins rolls a 55 for an 8. It's a fly ball, or ground ball, over to short. Pairing has that on to first, 1 away. Harry Davis now rolls a 34 for a 44. Fly ball center field. Birmingham has that, 2 away. And here's Topsy Hartzell. He rolls a 45 for a 14. That'll be 2 balls. Now rolls a 42 for a 14, so he gets 2 more, and he walks again. Second walk that Addy Joss has given up. He's given up 9 now this season. That'll bring up Danny Murphy. And Murphy rolls a 55 for an 8. It's a ground ball to Bradley, a 3rd, who throws to first, and we go to the top of the 9th inning. Josh Clark will lead this off for Cleveland. He rolls a 13 for a 14, and Plank has given up his second walk of the game. That'll bring up George Stovall. Stovall rolls a 22 for a 7, which will be a base hit once I write it incorrectly. There it goes. Base hit to right center field, and that'll bring up Napoleon, and that's going to be it for Plank. So Plank is going to leave this game. We're not going to leave him in to see if he gets out of this or not. We'll put Nick Carter in here as the relief pitcher. He's going to face Napoleon. LaJoey today, 1 for 4 with a double that scored 2. Nobody out, runners on first and second. The roll's a 24 for a 13, and so Carter gets a strikeout, 1 away. 2 more to go here before the bottom of the 9th, and here comes Bill Bradley. That's kind of in between 2 rolls. We'll try that again. There we go. It's a 26 for a 30. Fly ball to left. Hartzell's got that for the out 2 away. Bill Hinchman now for Cleveland. He rolls a 31 for a 14. So Nick Carter gives up the walk, and that loads the bases, and that'll bring up Birmingham. Carter, by the way, has thrown 5 innings, given up 0 runs. 235 is the batted against average. Struck out 2, walked 2 before coming into this. Now he's walked 3. I should say he had struck out 1 because he just struck out Napoleon. Roll by Birmingham's a 62 for a 12. There is a little E-roll. And it's a 45. So it's a ground ball over to short. Nichols makes the play and goes to Collins at second for the out. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Here comes Simon Nichols, and he's had a real hard game. 3 errors today. He rolls a 36 for a 33. It's a pop-up over to second, and Napoleon has that one away. Jimmy Collins. And Jimmy rolls a 26 for a 30, and it's a fly ball to Clark and left. So row Jimmy row, and he's kind of rowing his way out of this ballpark. 2 away, last out, last chance is Jack Coombs. 0 for 3 today is Jack. Rolls a 61 for a 32. It's a fly ball to right field, and Hinchman's got that for the out, and there you have it. So the Cleveland Naps add to their chances of winning the American League pennant, winning this one quite easily, 5-1. And, boy, the Athletics just had no offense in this game. Final score again, 5-1. Addy Joss gets the win, goes to 9-3. Eddie Plank loses, goes to 5-4. And that's win number 20 for Cleveland. And this pennant race continues to be very, very close. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye.